This is waxing video number 2, and we're going to be doing eyebrows and lip. Just want to go over a few things that you're going to do before your client arrives, of course. You are going to disinfect your workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe following the manufacturer's instructions. You're going to check the equipment to ensure that all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. You're going to gather clean supplies that you need for this waxing service, storing in a clean, closed container. You're going to dispense products needed for the service. So you're going to prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with a disposable portion cup or tray. Or you can remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. You will close the lid to the product and set the portion cup or tray on the tray. You will place disposable table paper on the disinfected bed to ensure that the wax does not fall onto the bed. And your client arrives, what do you do? Now, you're going to greet your client always with already cleansed hands, but for this, we're actually going to wash our hands again too. You'll see when. I just wanted to make that clear that as we approach the client, we already have clean hands. We greet the client and escort them to the work area. We assess the client's current style. We determine the client's preferences, and we assess the client's needs. We assess the client's skin by performing a skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on. That's too loud. Or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on. Infection or infestation, i.e. lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. We're going to consult on any known allergies. We will consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months, and if the client is under a physician's care. We will assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We will assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We will assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. And if the client is free from the above, we can move forward with the procedure, which our client is. So we are going to get our client set up before we wash our hands. So we're going to get our client into the proper attire for the service. Down. Do not mess up my videos. Sorry, guys. We've helped the client onto the bed, so now we got to get the client ready. So we have draped the bed so no wax will be on there. What we're going to do now is we're going to put a rolled towel under the neck for comfort, and we're also going to put on a headband to keep the hair away from any wax. And we're going to drape the client as well. So no wax would get on them in any way, shape, or form. And so everyone can see, I have already set up my station here with my waxing supplies. All of my products needed, tweezers, waxing strips, disposable applicators, etc. Now back to the client. And now it's time for me to wash my hands. So I would turn on the sink and wet my hands. Then dispense the liquid hand soap into my palms and wash them together all the way down to the wrists. I would be washing the back of my hands down to the wrists. I would be washing between my fingers and my thumb, washing the backs of my fingers, fingertips and nails on both sides. I would be interlocking the hands and doing that for at least 20 to 30 seconds underneath that running water, washing the thumbs, washing the wrists. And when I complete my hand wash, we thoroughly rinse under there. After a good proper rinse with everything off, we find disposable paper towel. We turn off the sink with that hand, and then we dry our hands thoroughly with the paper towels. Then we dispose of the paper towels in the trash, and then we find hand sanitizer to do the same things with. And you need to make sure your hands are nice and dry because you're going to be putting on a pair of disposable gloves for waxing always. So the first thing I'm going to do, because we're going to start with eyebrows, is address the eyebrow area. We've talked about her style, but I want to see the way the hair is growing around the brow and how much we need to take off and where. I'm going to go ahead and cleanse the eyebrow area. And it's cleansed, and once it's cleansed, it needs to be thoroughly dry. So I'm going to use another cotton round, make sure everything is dry, or some powder, like whatever we need there to make sure it's completely dry. And then I'm going to test the temperature of the wax. So I'm going to get one of the disposable sticks, get some wax, and I'm actually going to test it on the inside of my wrist. Feels good. So now we're going to go into our client. We're going to get some wax and we're going to start on the brow. residue. And the tweezers. Remove any extra wax. Now we're moving down to the lip area. Brows are done, so we're going to do one more thing to the brows before we move on down. We're going to go ahead and give them that nice soothing finish. So moving on down, assessing the same, the hair growth pattern and how much and what we're going to remove. And clean it. And then we need to make sure it's really dry. So I'm going to go back with another cotton pad on the whole area. some remover here. Quick. And then bringing in the client a mirror, allowing him or her to see the results. Oh, she's so happy. She doesn't have hair where she didn't want to have it anymore. Her brow shaping is stunning. She is so happy. So we have finished the lip and the brow. And we're going to discard our gloves in the waste receptacle. And we're going to meet with our client to follow up to discuss maintenance and aftercare, and then maybe potentially how often they should be booking the follow-up. We discard our single-use items, and the implements that we used, like tweezers, or if we used any like little scissors or anything like that, you would have to place them in a closed container that is labeled to be disinfected. Trashing this. You would place the cape that you placed over her, any used towels, etc., that you might have used for the service into a closed container that's labeled, or closed container until laundered. We identify, we have to clean up our workstation after we've checked her out. So we identify proper cleaning agent and read the manufacturer's directions. And then we follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. We wipe down our workstation and area with cleaning solution to remove debris. And then we would identify disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal, also EPA approved for use in a salon setting. We follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. We disinfect electrical equipment stored in a clean area. We store it in a clean area separate from the other implements. And then we actually just used, when we were cleaning, bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal products, so that we would have gloves on for that. So you have to discard those gloves. And then you can make your way to do a hand wash. So you turn on the water and wet the hands first. Then you get a coin-size amount of liquid hand soap, and you would rub the palms together with that liquid hand soap all the way down to the wrist. You would wash the backs of your hands all the way down to the wrist. You would wash between your fingers and finger between the thumb and the fingers. You would wash the backs of the fingers on both hands, of course, cleaning the fingers thoroughly. Fingertips and fingernails must be cleaned. You will wash under the water between the fingers for 20 to 30 seconds minimum. You would be washing your thumbs. You would be washing your wrists And when you finish and complete all of that, you would be rinsing thoroughly your hands under the running water to remove all of the soap. Once that is completely washed away, you find paper towels, grab some paper towels, and then turn the water off with the hand that has the paper towels. You dry your hands, arms, wrists, all of that thoroughly. And then once you're fully dry, you can discard the paper towels. And then to finish your hand washing, you find your hand sanitizer that must be at least 70%, by the way, either alcohol. So you're going to do your pumps of your sanitizer, and you're going to go through the entire hand washing process that you just went through, where you do the palms and the back of the hands, the fingers, fingertips, thumbs. Takes a long time to get dry too, so you might as well be doing it. Wrists, everything that's needed for the proper hand wash you do with your sanitizer too. And then when you're done with that, you can proceed to either your next client or next service, or if it's end of day, then you're good to go. And that concludes this video on waxing brows and upper lip.